Right now, America faces an economic reality that could reshape everything you know about the automotive industry. While you've been buying American cars, thinking you're supporting domestic manufacturing, there's an $847 billion Chinese empire that already controls whether your next vehicle will even exist. China doesn't just make batteries, they own every single step that gets electricity into your car, from the lithium in the ground to the factory that builds your Ford or Tesla. This isn't about trade policy debates or distant geopolitics. This is about a fundamental shift in global economic power that's happening right now, in real time, and American automakers are scrambling to figure out how to survive in a world where Chinese companies hold all the cards. The scale of China's battery dominance represents one of the most significant strategic advantages any nation has built in modern industrial history, and it's forcing every major corporation and government to make choices that will define the next century of transportation. China has systematically transformed itself into the undisputed global superpower in electric vehicle batteries, through what can only be described as an industrial masterpiece of strategic planning and execution. The country now controls approximately 76% of global lithium-ion battery manufacturing capacity, with Chinese companies CATL and BYD together commanding 55% of the entire global EV battery market. This dominance extends far beyond simple manufacturing numbers. China has achieved near monopolistic control over virtually every critical component required to build modern batteries. The foundation of China's battery empire rests on its stranglehold over raw material processing. While China holds only 7% of global lithium reserves, it processes 70% of the world's lithium supply. The country controls 90% of rare earth processing capacity, 98% of lithium iron phosphate active material production, and an astounding 100% of natural graphite processing for battery applications. This vertical integration creates a supply chain fortress that competitors cannot easily breach or replicate. The $847 billion figure encompasses the total economic value of China's comprehensive battery ecosystem, representing cumulative government investment, private sector development, supply chain integration, and global market positioning. This massive investment framework began with over $230 billion in direct government support from 2009 to 2023. Including subsidies, tax exemptions, infrastructure development, and research funding that created the foundation for today's industrial dominance. For American automakers, this creates an uncomfortable dependency that threatens their competitive position and national supply chain security. Tesla, despite being an American company, relies heavily on Chinese battery suppliers, with CATL serving as one of its largest partners. Ford has entered into licensing agreements with CATL to access advanced lithium iron phosphate battery technology for its Michigan manufacturing facility. General Motors, while attempting to build domestic battery capabilities, continues to explore Chinese partnerships to remain competitive in global markets. The Pentagon's recent addition of CATL to its list of Chinese military companies highlights the national security implications of this dependency. This designation, while not immediately prohibiting business relationships, serves as a warning to American companies about the risks of relying on Chinese suppliers for critical technologies. The move reflects growing concerns in Washington about China's ability to leverage its battery supply chain dominance as economic leverage against the United States. China's strategic advantage becomes even more pronounced when examining the technological innovation landscape. Chinese companies hold approximately 75% of global battery patents, giving them significant control over next-generation battery development. CATL has demonstrated breakthrough capabilities, with batteries enabling 300-plus miles of range with just 5 minutes of charging, while BYD's Blade battery technology offers extended warranties up to 1.5 million kilometers. These technological advances, combined with China's manufacturing scale, create cost advantages that American competitors struggle to match. The recent escalation in trade tensions has only strengthened China's position. In response to increased American tariffs, China has implemented export controls on critical battery materials and technologies. These restrictions cover 7 rare earth elements essential for battery production, including samarium, gadolinium, terbium, and dysprosium. The impact has been immediate and severe. Chinese exports of rare earth magnets plummeted by 74% in May 2025 compared to the previous year.
American automakers find themselves caught in an increasingly difficult position. The recently imposed 93.5% China export duty is already having an impact on U.S. battery production. The 11.5% in metric ton shortfall in lithium iron phosphate batteries is expected to create further delays in U.S. manufacturing scale-up.
5% tariffs on Chinese graphite, a critical battery component, adds approximately $7 per kilowatt-hour to battery production costs. Yet domestic American production cannot meet quality requirements, with Tesla's own attorneys acknowledging that not a single U.S. producer is capable of producing graphite that meets the stringent specifications required for EV batteries. The automotive supply chain analysis reveals the depth of American vulnerability. Over 50% of the 160,000 semiconductor parts used in automotive applications have China as at least one country of origin, with nearly a third manufactured exclusively in China. This dependency extends across multiple critical components, creating cascading vulnerabilities throughout American automotive production. China's response to American trade pressures demonstrates the weaponization of supply chain control. The country has expanded export licensing requirements to over 2,000 mineral items, effectively giving Chinese authorities discretionary control over critical material flows. This represents China's first comprehensive overhaul of its mineral export system in 15 years, with Korean electronics and heavy equipment manufacturers already reporting supply disruptions. The competitive landscape continues to evolve rapidly, with Chinese manufacturers announcing faster charging, longer-range batteries at unprecedented speeds. Chinese automakers are promising 5-minute flash charging capabilities and vehicles with over 600-mile range using semi-solid-state batteries. Meanwhile, American companies struggle with higher production costs, supply chain constraints, and limited government support compared to their Chinese counterparts. Looking ahead, the implications for American consumers and the broader economy are significant. Higher battery costs due to tariffs and supply chain restrictions translate directly into more expensive electric vehicles, potentially slowing adoption and undermining climate goals. The delay in domestic battery production capabilities means American automakers will continue depending on Chinese suppliers, even as geopolitical tensions escalate. The $847 billion Chinese battery empire represents more than industrial success. It demonstrates how strategic long-term planning and massive coordinated investment can create seemingly insurmountable competitive advantages. As electric vehicles become the dominant automotive technology globally, China's control over battery supply chains positions the country as the gatekeeper of the transportation future. American automakers and policymakers now face the challenge of developing strategies to compete in this new reality while reducing dangerous dependencies on a strategic rival. The question facing American industry and consumers isn't whether Chinese battery dominance will continue. It's whether the United States can develop alternative pathways fast enough to maintain competitive relevance in the electric vehicle revolution that's already reshaping global transportation. With production timelines measured in years and Chinese advantages measured in decades of accumulated expertise, the window for American response continues to narrow with each passing quarter.